There's a no. Hmm. Mailbox money. Mailbox money. Yep. Yep. Long time. Mm-mm. Yep. You're out. Yep. Yes. Yeah. Ever. Yes. Not everybody. Yep. No. Don't have the time. Yeah. Create create compelling subject material. That's it. It's not. It was not something anything anyone could do for you, except maybe AI. Except maybe AI. Yeah. Or say it easily. Art that will sell. Yes. Well, no, you're either trying to have a business or you're trying to have a hobby. I don't even like bandying around. And there's no judgment. If you want to have a hobby, have a hobby. I've got a bunch of hobbies. I enjoy them. Fantastic. I don't need to make any money at them, and they creatively fulfill me. But if you want to have a business in which your art business is growing and providing income for you, the art's got to sell. And that comes down to that comes down to the subject matter material. So keep going on that vein. Don't even get started with the SEO. It's going to infuriate me. Yeah. Doing shows, doing fairs, the whole thing. Yeah. Yep. I know. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's really really interesting because I've got Mike asking me questions here in the stream. You won't be able to see him, but um, what should my budget be for Facebook ads, right? And it's case in point, like learning to become a Facebook ads expert is so hard. But really where Nick's going with this entire thing is we realize, sum it up in a couple of sentences, we realize the ultimate leverage that you guys have for a successful business is just to focus on the creating. So to the extent that we can put ourselves in a position where we take care of everything else, your business will grow significantly faster than it will be you taking half of your time or more and trying to come up with being a really, really creative marketer. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. And there's a little bit of nuance to it, okay? But we've seen this for the last 8 years. Those that do like marketing and want to do it consistently, very very small percentage of artists and photographers, very very rare bunch. We call them unicorns. There's a reason for that. Uh, Everyone else open to doing some marketing, learning about marketing, but never going to do it consistently. Is caught up on the all emotional baggage that everyone reads every email you see or every social media post, and that you need to spend 35 hours writing an email or a social media post. And you just don't understand the nature of today's digital marketing, in which you have to market consistently all the time, be posting all the time, not get hung up on this like perfectionism, which just kills all of you guys from ever doing anything. And you're constantly worried about running sales, which is the biggest bunch of nonsense in the history of mankind. The only two brands that don't run sales are Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's. Okay, if you were that sweet, you would not be here. You would be on your jet with Bernard Arnault. Okay, so the point is that when you start getting out of your way on some of these things, and this is what's been so fantastic, like we've got customers that have been with us for years that we thought were probably pretty confident marketers that are now just letting us run these sales, and they're getting better results because you're never going to be an expert at it. You don't need to become an expert at it. We don't want you to become an expert at it. There's no reason for you to become an expert at it. Other people have already figured this out, right? Um, so that's what I would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah. That's right. No. No. And you miss days and you miss days and you miss days and they add up, and we all do, right? Like, I'm responsible for running all the marketing outbound at this company. There's lots of days I miss because it's really really hard to be consistent. You have other things going on. Life happens. There's a fire. There's something else in the business you need to take care of. So, You know, we're nothing if not sympathetic for it. For anyone that wants to join me on a Zoom to talk about this more, I'm having one at the top of the hour, totally free. You can leave a comment on Instagram with the word Zoom, and I can send you the link. So that's there for you. Somebody else was asking about how do you find out more information. You can request a demo. Links in our bio. There's buttons all over the place that talk about it. But it is an extremely bold claim, the notion that we will do the marketing and selling for you, and yet one that has been a long time coming, at least in a digital capacity. It's been a long time coming. And Nick and I feel rather strongly that, like, once this system really takes hold, once we get 100% of our customers on this service, no one will ever come off of it, and that paradigm will eventually shift. And it's not to say you're not going to do things to promote your art, or you're not going to do marketing now and again, or you're not going to do certain events, but it's taking all of these low leverage stuff off your plate that we can do for you and giving you that time back to do everything else. And surprise, surprise, as we found throughout our own business careers, when your business starts going well and kicking butt, all that does is motivate you even more to pour more time and energy and effort into it. And it gets to where it's going just quicker and quicker and quicker. So it's an extremely, extremely exciting time, you know, to just look at what our plan and our team of experts writing these emails, and the fact that we've been at this for near 10 years, and the fact that we have data on exactly how many different things you need to do in a sale, and when to run a sale, and when to extend a sale, and how to contemplate the pricing so that you still make plenty of money, and what are the hottest selling media types that you need to offer, and what sizes, and what do you do after the fact, and during, and all of these things, and you put it together, and it's like, fundamentally, we understand that 99% of artists out there are solopreneurs, solo team. Maybe you have a significant other that helps you out now and again, but more or less you're on your own. That's a damn lonely way to do it. Pretty handy to have a partner that's going to help you out with a bunch of this stuff, with a bunch of this marketing, and really get you going. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Yeah. No. No. Yep. Hmm. Do you see what everyone's saying? I'd rather be painting. I'd rather be painting. We know. Trust me. We know. You'd rather be photographing. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. Correct. Correct. The way. The way. All very important. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Anyone that wants to join me in Zoom, 10 minutes. All you have to do is leave the word Zoom. Not you, Janine. Okay? It's not for customers. I always like picking on Janine. It's kind of fun. But you're gonna see Nick and I rant about this literally all week long. So we're gonna be popping in and out. Look for us on a future IG stream to be coming soon. That is for certain. Um, we lost. Yeah, yeah. We lost you there. Huge unlock. All right. We got to wrap. I got to go get my Zoom ready. Maybe. Yeah, and maybe tomorrow afternoon. All right, thank you, Instagram. Again, if you guys want to attend my Zoom, just leave me a comment, Zoom, and I will see you in there. Yeah, don't worry, Lawless. It's gonna take a few. It'll take a few, but we'll get you in dialed. We're still streaming in here, Nick. Did you hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, still streaming in here. I got to turn this down and put my headphones on. And Mike, I still have 5 minutes until I open this room up. Do you want to just jump in here and we'll talk about this? I'm going to send you the Zoom link. Hold on. See if I can do this. Copy invite link. If you want to come in here, Mike, I'll help you. That's it. You can join that one right there. All right, I'm taking these AirPods off. All right. Oh, yeah, earphones. It's been a while since I've done the Instagram / YouTube / Facebook / all at once, all at the same time jam. You realize you don't have to be perfect every time you do it. It's just about doing it and pulling it off. All right, I got to start my little starting soon screen share here. But if anybody wants to join the Zoom, you certainly can. I'll paste comments and I'll be in here. I'm gonna play my little file that says, you know, starting soon and let everybody in. All right. All right. Happy Monday, everyone. Why is it Monday already? Thanks for joining me today. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts. Been doing that for years and years and years now. So today's session, and we run a number of these different sessions throughout the week. I usually take the ones on Monday, and I usually rant about kind of whatever I want to rant about, usually art marketing related. And then what we normally do on Wednesdays and Fridays at the same time is have somebody from our outreach team get on here and they walk you through the back end of the software and get into all the plans and all the packages and all the marketing and everything that we do on the back end. Today's session is more like, okay, these guys have been emailing me all the damn time. I get way too many emails. Do they know what they're talking about? Can they actually help me out? Are they full of it? Like, what is going on here with these people? They don't publish their pricing and all of this sorts of things. So that's my job, to deal with that and try to get you over that line today. And then, assuming you want to come back for an upcoming session, or if you want to schedule a private one where you could see, all the bells, all the whistles, all the behind the scenes, all the rest of it. So that will be my session today. I ran a webinar that no one's actually, well, that's not true. I played it, I think, last Monday, but I did have an updated version. So no one's really seen this newest one yet that I think is very good. I think it goes like 20 minutes, so I'm going to play that for you up front while that thing is running along. And I just realized that was on my screen. Sorry about that. Why that thing's running along, if you look at the bottom of, no, that's the chat. Sorry, I'm out of it on Mondays. If you look at the bottom of your Zoom window, there is like a little chat bubble thing that you can click and you can ask questions. And so as the presentation's rolling along, if you have questions and you just want to get them out of your head and throw them into that little window, I can either answer those things on the fly or I will answer them on the tail end of the webinar, the Q&A portion. So that is what we'll do. And as soon as this video is done playing, I will come on the back end and we can get into any questions you like about just about anything. I know Mike was asking me about YouTube or Facebook ads questions. So I can certainly get into those. And then Mike, if you're in here, do not ever boost posts, okay? Ever. Instead, take that money, go out in your backyard and light it on fire, because then at least you get some warmth out of it, okay? Boosting posts does not work. Anyway, I get real fired up about that one. So, okay, I'm going to get going on my video, and then I will see you just on the other side of it, and we can get into everything else. So I'm excited about that. All right, here we go. All right, guys, this is Patrick. Welcome to today's webinar. Really excited to have you here. This is going to be from starving artist to thriving entrepreneur, how to grow a successful art business in 2023 and beyond. I'm going to move myself over to here. So the agenda for today is we're going to talk about your art on a website set up to sell art. We're going to do a deep dive on new customer acquisition. I'm going to talk about the pricing and lineup that you need to focus on. I'm going to drill into the various different media types that almost no one ever talks about. I'm going to drill into merch at a high level. I'm going to show you some customer inspiration, and then we're going to talk about marketing your art and our newest offering, which is called Copilot. And so let's dive right in and get started. Your art on a website. Now, this one is pretty self-explanatory. I think most of you guys understand that you need to have your art up on a website. It needs to be beautifully displayed. It has to have the ability to take orders. You need the ability to be able to print and ship those orders, all without you lifting a finger. And your website needs to have advanced marketing features. You need to have the ability to capture leads. You need to have the ability to run sales and use discounts and do coupon codes. It helps if you have pre-order bumps and post-order bumps. We can get into that later. And I don't want to make all of today specifically about art selling websites. I could do an entire deep dive on this that would be really, really crazy. But suffice to say, I've got an incredible blog post on this where pretty much almost all artists go wrong. You can see that behind me, and I'm going to send this to you after the fact. But quickly and succinctly, here's what I would say. The easiest, the best way to sell art, okay, what is it? It's in an art gallery. In person in an art gallery. And there's a reason that all art galleries kind of look like all museums. What do you notice about all of them? It is the art on plain white walls, nicely lit up, and nothing else. Where all artists and photographers get this one wrong on their website is they have all kinds of fonts and goofy colors and slideshows and audio and who knows what else, so that if you actually saw the art, it would be a miracle. So I'm going to send you this article after the fact that's going to walk you through all of the things that you need your website to do. I don't want to make today's session just about the website. We do offer websites as a business at Art Storefronts, and I will send you some customer examples of what ours look like after the fact. But I want to make today's session more about the hard-hitting stuff you don't hear anywhere else, the things that you've likely not been taught, the things that no one discusses. And so that's when we get into this concept of new customer acquisition, okay? So if I was to ask you a question, how many new customers did you acquire last year, okay? How would you respond to that? And what I normally get is, Patrick, what? What are you talking about? Well, let's define it, okay? A new customer is defined as someone new that makes a purchase of any product in your lineup. And it can be for any dollar amount, okay? It can be for $5, it can be for $5,000, $50,000, anything in between. The important thing here is that you retain their email for marketing purposes. Now, why is this so important? There are only three ways, count them, to grow an art business. There's bring new customers in the door, which is the one everyone focuses on all the time. How do I get a new customer? How do I get my art in front of new eyeballs? Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's get more revenue out of your customers at the time of purchase. We call this AOV, average order value. And then the third way is to get existing customers to come back and purchase again, okay? But all of this starts with acquiring a new customer. And in this business, okay, the force multiplier of all force multipliers, probably one of the greatest things about being an artist or a photographer is this notion of collectors, okay? The number of collectors an artist or a photographer has represents essentially the base salary to any business. And what is a collector? A collector is someone defined that will purchase multiple pieces of your art over the course of the years. You keep creating and creating and creating, and they just keep buying and buying and buying. It's one of the phenomenons of this particular industry. And this pyramid here, and I'll get myself out of the way so you can see it, represents this entire business so succinctly. It all starts with a transaction, a new customer is acquired. You do regular and consistent marketing, and that brings them back again. That customer buys again. Some percentage will buy again and again and turn into collectors. When you understand this and how important this is to a business, it fundamentally changes the way you operate your business. You have to make sales to new customers. You have to market consistently to those new customers. Some percentage of those folks are going to turn into collectors, and those collectors are going to be with you for the rest of your art creating life. It is the lifeblood of any art or photography business. I've often explained that it's the base salary, it's the 401k, right? It is what you get paid just for creating and getting out of bed in the morning, but it all starts with acquiring a new customer. And so here's the rub though, okay? Here's the rub. Let's just say you're out there doing awesome marketing. You're creating the awesome art, you're doing awesome marketing. And these folks get drawn into your ecosystem. It could be you did an in-person theater show, or you're posting on Instagram or a Facebook post, or your art is hanging in a dentist office, whatever it is. If those folks are exposed to you, your awesome art, and your marketing message, and they leave without buying, they're gone. The math say they're gone for good. They are now watching cat videos, the cat's playing tetherball in this case, and they're never coming back. And it's very, very important to understand that. And so we need to do everything that we can as artists and photographers to set ourselves up to acquire as many new customers as possible. How do we do that? And I'm going to get into that in a second, but I want to offer this framework because I think it's very, very important, and it's not something that you'll hear anywhere else. I like to operate under a 10x new customer acquisition framework. It is your goal. It's the goal for all of my customers at Art Storefronts. It is my goal for you. Number one, here's how it works. You take the number of new customers that you acquired last year. Again, someone that purchases anything from you in which you retain the information, namely an email address, so you can market to these folks in the future. So take that number, multiply it by 10, and that is your target for 2023. Now let's just break those maths down. Let's say hypothetically that you acquired 70 new customers last year in 2022. Okay, awesome. Let's multiply that by 10. That gives us the number 700. That gives us a monthly target of 58 new customers a month and a daily target of 2 new customers a day. Okay, 2 new customers a day. Are you crazy, Patrick? Are you out of your mind? Do you think I'm going to be selling 2 pieces of wall art a day? There's no way. That's crazy. And I'm here to tell you it's not crazy. When we break these numbers down and we look at these maths, okay, 58 a month, 2 a day, we can start solving for that. It's not some pie in the sky number. What are we going to need to do as an artist or photographer to have a lineup such that we might acquire 2 customers a day, okay? And how we're going to get there is going to be through our lineup, our pricing and our lineup. Now, side note, another thing I'm going to send you after this webinar ends in the email is a podcast episode I've recorded on this. The Art Marketing Podcast has over 500,000 downloads and over 200, I think, iTunes 5-star reviews. So this is a very hard-hitting podcast, and I did a deep dive on this notion of how many new customers did you acquire last year. Anyway, I'm going to send that to you. But I want to get into pricing and lineup. This is the secret sauce of how we are going to put ourselves in a position to be able to acquire these new customers. Some percentage are going to come back and buy again and then turn into collectors, the holy grail of this business. If we're going to hit that 10x goal, okay, our pricing and lineup needs to be set up for best practices. What does that look like? To get this right, to stand the best chance, you need items priced under $100. You need items priced from $100 to $1,000, and you need items priced over $1,000. Additionally, you need to have non-wall art as part of the lineup. Let's get into it. And everyone always responds, why? What are you talking about? I don't have any of that going on. This bell curve here, okay, what I like to call the budget bell curve, is universally true for everyone. It's true for me and my marketing in art storefronts. It's true for you. You're out there doing fairs and shows, let's say, or you're marketing on Instagram, or you're having a gallery show, or again, your art is hung in a dentist's office or a doctor's office, whatever the case may be. You're going to draw people into your ecosystem as a result of those marketing efforts that are going to fall somewhere on this bell curve, okay? At one end, you've got the no budget, and I'll get myself out of the way, the no budget folks, okay? These folks don't have any money. Then you get into the low budget, and then the center of the bell curve, the medium budget folks. That's your average, your sweet spot. Then it goes down to high budget, and then it ends with the whales. It doesn't matter who you are, okay? This is what your audience that you're going to attract into your ecosystem is going to look like. It is incumbent upon you, if you want to get the most ROI, return on investment from those marketing activities, to have prices for everyone on this bell curve, okay? When you do, you're putting yourself in the position to stand the greatest chance to acquire a new customer, no matter where you are, no matter who you're doing, no matter who you get the art in front of. And the crazy thing about this bell curve, what no one understands, it is not a fixed entity, okay? People are going up and down this various different curve throughout their entire lives. And the ones that are on the low end today will probably be on the high end tomorrow and vice versa. So we don't worry about that. We don't have to worry about that. By focusing on our pricing and lineup, we just need to have something for everyone on this curve. And if we're going to hit our 10x customer acquisition goal, we have to have prices for everyone on the curve, okay? Again, this pyramid is the whole ball game. New customers get acquired, you market to them consistently, some small portion become collectors, and those collectors, once you start stacking those guys up, that is how you have an incredibly successful and growing art of photography business. It's just that simple. It's always been this simple. It is just a volume game, the number of new customers acquired, okay? So, the non-wall art part. This is so important. This is so critical. So many people gloss over this. So many artists and photographers fail to understand this. Not everybody is ready to buy wall art right now. Not everybody, when you catch them with an Instagram post or they come to your website as a result of an email or they see you at a show there, not everybody is ready to buy wall art right now. So when you only have wall art in your lineup, there are a whole bunch of people that like you, like what you're doing creatively, like the vibe that you're putting out there, and yet you don't have anything for them to purchase because you don't have non-wall art as your lineup. They're gone. They're watching the aforementioned cats playing tetherball video, and the masks say they're never coming back, okay? You have to have items in your lineup that represent impulse type of buys, that represent I don't have to consult with my significant other and go and measure my wall and do all of these various different things. And so many get this wrong, and it is so critically important. And so, you know, I also have an extremely deep dive blog post. You see it behind me on how to price your art, and it goes into all the various different ways that you can set your lineup and how to think about how to get 0 to 100 and 100 to 1,000 and 1,000 over. I'm going to send this to you after the fact. Totally recommend you read it. It's an incredible piece of content. So, putting this together, you know, the new customer acquisition sweet spot is having your pricing and lineup set, having consistent marketing, and having non-wall art is a part of your lineup. When you have that, okay, you've hit the sweet spot. You're cooking with gas. If you look at this image behind me, there's tote bags, there's postcards, there's small paper prints, there's originals and limited editions on the wall. Kelly has hit in this case, all of those variables in one little wall in her gallery, and it is so, so important. But don't worry, I'm going to get into the lineup and explain it. And so it's just critical to understand if we're going to 10x your new customers acquired, we've got to get your lineup in shape. So let's talk about the 5 main media types that I believe all artists and photographers need to have. They need to be experts on. They need to be able to articulate, and most importantly, they need to have in their lineup. There are 5 main media types, okay? Fine art paper. Some like the textured fine art paper, some like gloss if they're photographers. It doesn't matter, you just need to have one. You need to have canvas, you need to have metal, you need to have acrylic, and believe it or not, wood. Wood is an extremely popular media type, and there's some folks that absolutely love it. And so let's get into these, okay? Why do you need to have all these media types, all right? Why do they need to be on hand at all times? And I'm going to get into that in terms of samples in a second. You know, I always use this analogy, okay? And it goes like this. Like, if I was going to hire you to sell kitchen knives for me door to door, when you knocked on those doors, what would you have in your hand? You'd have the knives, wouldn't you? Of course you would have the knives. You would have to be a pretty damn good salesperson or saleswoman to be able to knock on a door with a catalog and say, hey, you want to buy my knives? Here, look at my catalog. No, you have to have the actual media types in your hot little hand. And let me tell you, your customers don't know. Your customers are reliant upon you, the artist or the photographer, to be a subject matter expert, okay? You need to be able to explain the subtle differences between canvas and why it's awesome, and acrylic and metal and wood. We don't know. Normal consumers do not know. You are meant to, this is what you're selling. You are meant to be the subject matter expert in this. And also, never assume you are smarter than your customer, okay? They might really like a certain media type, and you may not even offer it because you don't like it personally. You need to be able to show and tell, and you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to take these 5 media types with you, okay? You're going somewhere in your car, you should have the 5 of them as samples to be able to show off. Going to hang some work in a customer's house, they're getting an original. Why wouldn't you take the samples with you, the 5 media types with you in a little stack and be able to show them off? Oh, you're interested in some art for a bathroom? Well, have you seen what acrylic looks like? Acrylic is amazing. It's a beautiful media type. Very, very important. Also, why it's important to have these 5 media types on hand. Zoom calls, video calls, being able to film them quickly. We have customers on a regular basis. I'm going to tell a story about this in just a moment and show you with pictures. But it is critically important to be able to educate people over a Zoom call, over a Facebook Messenger live chat, or a FaceTime, or however you're doing it, what the media types look like. And then, of course, live art shows, in-person shows, very important to be able to articulate what it is that you're selling. So the good news is that you can get an entire stack of samples, of very, very small samples, and be able to have it with you at all times. They do not need to be big. They do not need to be huge. And I'll grab one up here really quickly and turn my camera on and show you. Like, look, here's a tiny paper print. I'm showing it to you on video. I'm showing you black, wired, ready to hang on your wall. It's beautiful, right? I've got it with me, and it's on my person at all times. And I've got some videos here that I can show you what these ones look like individually, right? Like, you need to be able to show paper. This is the textured fine art paper. You need to be able to show gloss if you're the photographer. Show what the glossy prints look like. You need to be able to show what canvas looks like, and the fact that it's printed edge to edge, and the fact that it's going to hang on the wall and it doesn't need to be framed, and also to metal and how thin metal is. Oh, you're decorating a bathroom. Metal's incredible. You can get wet and sweat. It's not going to be a problem. It's ready to hang. And then so too with acrylic. And so too with wood, okay? It is critical that you have an entire stack of these samples on hand at all times, as well as the fact of you offering them on their website. Now, I've got an interesting story here. I can articulate what this looks like in the real world. And what have we learned so far? Number one, the importance of having samples on hand. You need to be the subject matter expert. Never think you are smarter than your customer. If you don't like a particular media type, it does not matter. Let your customer decide what media type they want. They are smarter than you are. They are the customer. Number three, small sizes are perfect for quick video selling. And then number four, the easiest customer to get is the one that you've already had, right? There's only three ways to grow an art business: acquire a new customer, get more money out of them when they purchase, or get an existing customer to come back. And so this is a customer of ours. Her name's Javelina. Call her Hava. And she had someone interested in a piece of art. And it's a very interesting story. This gal was riding the subway from Brooklyn into the city for work, and she starts messaging Hava, hey, I'm interested in some of your art. And she was interested in this piece to the right, okay? And she was trying to figure out, but I'm not sure. I don't know what media type to get. Should I get acrylic, or photo paper, wood, etc.? And so Hava, because she had her samples on hand, said, no problem. Let me send you some quick video clips and you'll better understand. She sent her the video clips and she made a decision. It was wood in this case. She really wanted to have it because it will sit right on a shelf and be propped up, right? The reason that this sale happened was that Hava had the media types on hand and she was an expert at being able to articulate them. Critically important stuff. Leverage your samples in hand-to-hand combat. Hand-to-hand combat is when you're individually selling, whether digitally or in person. Samples, okay, eliminate the friction of making a purchase. It's why it's so important that you have them on hand. Your job is to just display the options, okay? They get to decide what goes on their wall, or in this case, what goes on their bookshelf, right? And it's fantastic for you, the artist or the photographer, to be the subject matter expert and always be able to go the extra mile to get the sale over the line and eliminate the friction. You know, Zoom calls, video chats, FaceTime messages, text messages, all of it, okay? It all works. Next, I want to get into merch types, right? Non-wall art is a part of our lineup. Critically important. And again, I get back to this 10x customer acquisition, how art and photography business are actually grown. If you're going to be acquiring 2 customers a day, okay, that is heartbreaking. That's like, you have got to be kidding me. But guess what? It's not difficult with merch. That is how we solve for this. It is just really hard. There are very few artists and photographers out there selling 2 pieces of wall art a day. So when you realize that merch gets you there, it changes, and it fundamentally changes the game. And I want to say that it does not matter, okay? It does not matter what the merch is, all right? Us at Art Storefronts, we have a myriad of offerings. There's yoga mats and puzzles and cell phone cases, and there are calendars and greeting cards and coasters and tote bags, a whole myriad of products. Some of my customers hand paint wooden spoons. Some are selling stickers. Some are doing photo books. It does not matter what it is, as long as you have non-wall art is a part of the lineup. These are low commitment, low friction buys. These are ways for the people that you attract into your ecosystem to reward your creativity, because they're not ready to buy wall art right now. Now, I want to show you some customer inspiration, some examples of what this looks like, right? Of the marketing that you're going to be able to do when you offer something that's a little bit different. And you can see I've got I'm going to get my fat head out of the way. There's Instagram handles in here. So if any of these artists pique your interest, you can go and follow them, and you can see how they're doing their marketing. In this case, this is a gal named Candace Seslow, and she does a great job with the tote bags, merchandising these products. She's got her dog in it. It's on brand. She's got this beautiful shot right next to the ocean. Staying on the dog theme for a second, This is Allison Cantrell. She specializes in custom pet portraits. And you can see she's got the pet portrait. She's got a beautiful one on a throw pillow. She's got one on a wood print up on the wall, or an acrylic print up on the wall, rather. Might be metal, actually. And then she's also got coffee mug, okay, with her little dog on it. No matter what, she has got something for everyone on that budget bell curve. And when you offer all these various different merch types, you now have the ability to sell no matter what. Someone can come in, reward you for their creativity, and you will make sales all up and down that budget bell curve. Alan here I love because his photographs are extremely, extremely colorful, and he does a great job merchandising, putting them all together. He's got the tote bag on a bench, and he's got a throw pillow on a shelf in an office, and matching coffee cups. You know, he can layer all of these merch products up like this and sell them as a set, and somebody's got a great lineup of Christmas gifts to give away. You know, these things are beautiful, and they just non-wall art, part of the lineup. You can see how Hava, the example from earlier, how she does it. She does a great job. We need you, 100% of you, to have these samples on hand. Understand what it is that you're selling and be able to show it off in person. So fundamentally important, and yet almost none of you have the actual products that you sell, your creations, in the wall art format, in the merch format, right? Like, normal human beings, not you artistically talented folks, do not have your incredible powers of visualization, okay? We cannot take an image, a 2D image off your Instagram account and visualize it on our walls like you guys can. We need to see the real thing, the thing that we're lusting after, the thing that we want to have in our hot little hand, right? Like, here is a wood print of your photo of Positano. I need to be able to see that I can put that on a shelf in my house, that it's easy to hang. It fundamentally changes the game when you have your samples on hand, and especially when you have non-wall art samples as well. And so again, this entire equation, it becomes solvable when you have the prices 0 to 100, okay? 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus. Non-wall art is a part of the lineup. Critically, critically important. And a final point on merch. Like, I get so much pushback from artists and photographers out there. Patrick, I would never sell merch. I'm not going to sell any of this cheap tchotchke crap. To which I reply, when is the last time that you went into a museum that did not have a gift shop? Don't worry, I'll wait. Go ahead and let me know what museum that was. If Van Gogh's art can be on the wall and you can buy a calendar of Stormy Night in the gift shop, or Starry Night rather, in the gift shop, along with everything else, it's okay for you to sell this stuff too. There is a reason these museums have a gift shop. Their business is at the end of the day, right? So understand the importance of having the non-wall art. And further, you're not going to make a ton of money on merch. No one does, not unless you're selling millions of them. It does not matter, okay? I've spent my life as a digital marketer trying to get folks' attention. In today's day and age, that means the social media sites. It means advertising on them. But guess what? I can only get your attention when you're on your cell phone or when you're on your computer. Your merch products go the places no Facebook ad or no Instagram ad or post or email can, okay? It goes into your customer's real world physical life. They might come from you and buy that pillow that's behind me. And that pillow might sit on that chair for 3 years. And every day they look at it and their cat sits on it. And then guess what? All of a sudden, they're ready to buy wall art. Who is going to be top of mind to those folks, all right, when they're ready to buy wall art? You are, because you got that merch in there. You know, I contemplate the stickers, right? Like, I don't want to sell stickers. That's so cheesy. But guess what? I came to your booth. You were having a show there. I liked what you did, but I wasn't ready to buy wall art. I bought a package of your stickers for $5. You got my email address. I took that sticker and slapped it on my garage fridge. Now, every day that I go out to my garage fridge to get a drink, you are top of mind. I am looking at your art every single solitary day. And now I'm ready to purchase wall art. I just bought my second home. And guess who's top of mind? It's you. You're the one getting those sales. So it's so, so important. You have to include the merch. Next, I want to talk about marketing your art, okay? It's consistency, you guys. Consistency is where 99.5% of artists and photographers fail. It is their biggest miss. It's just not marketing consistently. And I get it. It's difficult to do so. None of you like marketing. None of you want to do the marketing. You all just don't want, you just want to create, and you want someone to take care of everything else. And we instinctively know this as a business at Art Storefronts, which is why we've created what we're calling Copilot. And it's the most advanced art marketing system on the planet. It is your art marketing done for you by art marketing professionals, individuals on our in-house team. And what do we do exactly? We post to Facebook for you. We send emails on your behalf. We post to Instagram for you, and we run sales campaigns for you. And we do all of this without you having to lift a finger. Why would we do that? And I'll tell you, it's because you guys are your own worst enemy. Number one, you don't like marketing. Number two, you're tech challenged, most of you. Number three, you're terrified of running sales. You never run enough of them. You're a perfectionist, okay? And the end result of that perfectionism is not posting enough, not emailing enough, and not doing it consistently, okay? None of you do it consistently. A great many of you don't believe in marketing and sales, and so you end up phoning in the efforts because you don't have the courage of your convictions, which is why we created Copilot. And when you combine the best art selling website on the planet, your work, and Copilot, is when things really start taking off, okay? I'm just going to show off a couple of quick testimonials of the results of this brand new service that we're offering, which is blown away. You go from situations where you're not gaining followers and you start gaining followers. Why? Because you're actually posting consistently and daily and several times a day. You go from not making sales at all because you don't believe in the sales and marketing process, and all of a sudden you are making sales. It starts small. It was coasters in Jason's case here. Then you start picking up steam. The marketing goes out regularly and consistently, and you're selling your first original from the website and a couple of canvas prints, right? It heats up from there. Because we are sending emails on your behalf, all of a sudden you're bringing sales up and down the stack, 3 sales in this case, for not even having to lift a finger, right? It starts helping and working immediately. In Ariel's case, she was 8 days into our Copilot service and making sales to strangers, small at first, but that's how it starts. And then it really, really starts picking up steam. Pete here was down sick with COVID and ended up selling 5 pieces because we were running all of his marketing for him. Kim sold over $5,000 in one sale and 7 originals as a result of our marketing efforts on her behalf. So where do we go from here? I've chewed up 30 minutes of your time. 1, thanks for sticking it out to the end of this webinar. 2, I am going to send you a myriad of things that I mentioned, the article on pricing, some podcast episodes on how to go forward on this, a replay of this webinar. I'm going to show you examples of our customer websites. If you sign up with us, great. If you don't, then you'll at least know what your website needs to have and needs to look like. I'm also going to send you some ideas about samples and merch that you need to do. And if you enjoyed this webinar and you found even a little bit of value, 1, I'm going to send you an invite to attend a live session if you don't. All right, enough of that. You already are attending the live session. All right, well, thank you guys for sticking that out. I hope you found it valuable and informative. And Wednesday, is he still on here? Mr. Umberto was like, enough with this nonsense. I just want somebody to sell my art for me. It's like, I know, dude. I know. But the gibberish is really, really important. So-called gibberish that he called it. Is really, really important. All right, well, next up, we can actually get into the Q&A. How does the Q&A work? If you are one of the brave ones and you have your hand raised, you can just say, hey, I have a question. I'll be like, okay, I can unmute you, have you come on. For everyone else, there is, if you look at like your little Zoom window, see there's like a little smiley face and it says reactions. You can click that thing and there's a way to raise your hand digitally speaking. And then that lets me know you have a question that's a little bit easier. Don't worry, baby. I saw you holding your hand. So there's that as well, and I guess really what everyone's asking is like, what is this new update Copilot? What does it do? We're essentially doing our marketing and selling for our customers now. It took us a long time to cook this thing up, but we now run a large portion of your social media posts and pretty much all of your sales. You have the ability to audit this work and see whether or not you like it before it goes. If you do, great. Otherwise, it just goes automatically, and that's proving to be a huge game changer because it turns out you guys are all really, really busy. Right? You know, you have a ton of things going on, and you know, oftentimes the marketing just suffers and it doesn't get done, and that's what we're solving for. Um, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, every single solitary person, you know, really just wants to live in the gallery model, right? You just create, somebody just takes it all away, pays you, you have a great life, just creating all the time, not doing anything else. But we're actually getting closer and closer to that. So I'm going to start with you today, Jory. I'll unmute you quickly. He had his hand up and he was asking a bunch of questions before, baby. And then I'll move to you, and then we'll go from there. So Jory, I'm going to unmute you now. If I get your name right, your name looks maybe it's Polish to me, and I don't know if I 100% have that.
Patrick, I can't see you.
Oh, what happened to my little screen? That's really You guys couldn't hear me either, could you?
No.
Oh, unbelievable. You guys are just amazing for sticking it out. I'm telling you, Mondays are just my off day. I just went through like an entire 20-minute rant, too. You guys were just totally sitting there. Amazing. All right, Jory, we're going to start with you. I'm just going straight into questions. Some of you guys already figured out how to do it. Baby, I saw your hand was up. I don't know if that means you have a question or not. But Jory was asking me, do I have it right? Is it Jory?
Yes.
Okay. So I get this question a ton. It's an interesting one. Jory has a large collection of art that's left over from presumably one of his family members or his dad, and he wants to sell it. And what is the best way to go about that? What I'm advocating that you do is the right way to go if you want to have a business for years and years. If you just want to clear out that artwork and you want to be done with it, it's not necessarily the best, because you're going to spend all this time, energy, and effort working towards promoting this beautiful stuff, building an audience for this beautiful stuff, and then you're not going to have any of it left to sell, right? So I think what I would do is, my decision tree here for you is, because you have all the originals, if the work is really, really good and it ends up becoming a hit, you can end up selling it for the rest of your life, right? And then potentially pass it on to the next generation if you were so inclined. I don't know if the work is that good or not. Your alternative would be trying to get a local gallery to sell it. But the difficulty in that particular path is those guys are getting hit up and pitched 50 times a day, every single solitary day. And so they tend to be a little bit snobbish about it. But you could find some cool gallery owners and say, hey, here's the body of work. It sold really, really well back in the day. What do you think? Are you interested? And you might get one to write you a check just for all of it and let them sell it at their leisure. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. The art is an inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing
Oh, so
is that
it's not one
uh,
artist. It's a bunch of different artists.
no, it's my father's art,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he had. I sent you his website,
Mm-hmm.
and so it hasn't had the exposure as I have been seeing here on what you're offering.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I have a career,
Yeah.
and my career has been handicapped because of this inheritance. And the other thing I mentioned in my note to you is that the maintenance of
Of it. Yeah.
this,
Keeping it up.
which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a
It's killing you.
temperature controlled building, is very expensive. Many artists don't worry about that because the medium that they're working in doesn't have to worry about temperature
Right.
control.
But watercolor does.
Watercolor art on specially handmade paper has an issue, and you need that environment, or you have to have it framed. But even if it's framed, it still needs an environment to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so all these factors has been a sinker or a weight on my life, and I have I'm not making any money because I'm retired, and I have health issues. So I'm trying to find recourse to
Yeah.
put it out into the mainstream so that it can reach those people who are interested. I will say this, Patrick, I have tried in the past to go to galleries, to set up appointments with people
Mm-hmm.
overseas, and the backlash I got from that was that I'm not a curator. I am not a sales rep.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't own it. Even though it's my estate, it's not mine in terms of the
Yeah,
medium
no,
for
I trust me.
other
I know all the
people.
stuff. I know all the stuff they would say to you.
So,
You need a partner is what you need that will end up selling it for you. So just do this. I didn't see the website in the chat. You can just send me an email. It's Patrick Patrick at artstorefronts.com, and then I'll look at it and I'll make some recommendations. Does that work?
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Just send me that and I'll take a look. Thanks, Joy.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Melissa, I told Brian to call you, by the way. Good memory. I don't know if you have any follow-ups. Might as well unmute you. But Melissa's like the ideal avatar of like what we're trying to solve for, because she's like all the rest of our customers, which is like, okay, I've got a business on my hands, but I have absolutely no time to do anything because I have a life and I have a million other things going on and I have a job. Can you help? Which is essentially, where she was at. She was talking to me in the chat, which is why I know all this. You'll have to unmute if you want to talk, Melissa. Mic icon, bottom left-hand corner is what you need to hit, and that does it. If you're on your cell phone, sometimes it's a little bit harder to find. All right, Melissa's trying to figure out her tech woes. In the meantime, anyone else? Cameras on, have a question, you can raise your hand. Anyone else? There's a little reactions, smiley face looking thing at the bottom of your Zoom window. I'll get you next, Kim. And then you can just hit that little button, and then that lets me know you have a question. And then I can answer from there. So, okay, Kim, because Melissa's figuring it out, you can go next. Gotcha. It says you're unmuted, Kim. Can you talk for a second?
Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure it was my turn.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
I haven't seen the pricing anywhere
Yes.
yet.
I know, it's annoying. I want to publish it. I want to publish it on the main.
I don't
website.
know if I can afford this or not. I'm a graphic designer full time,
Mm-hmm. And
I do a lot of art. That's my real love.
Mm-hmm. Have you started trying to sell some of it yet? How much of it do you actually have printed out? Is the real question. Very little, huh?
I'm doing it on the computer right now, so I can print it. On demand works for me. I've probably got 15, 20 pieces.
That's good. And then what is it? What are you doing with it in terms of trying to sell it? Are you taking it to shows and fairs, or
I haven't done anything with it yet.
Okay, you haven't done anything.
Taking it to my networking meetings, that doesn't work because they're interested in the graphics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if this is something I can do as a retirement thing and gradually transition into it, how much time it's going to take me, because I'm already fairly busy.
Yes, totally understand. What I would do is I would get a demo and explain your individual situation. The demo, or you can come to one of these group ones where they walk you through like all the plans and options and everything else. I love the fact that you have it printed out. That's like where most digital artists and or graphic designers totally drop the balls. They're like, everyone can just visualize it on the screen and think, like we can't visualize
some of them on Canvas, and that's new to me because I always used to have to use glass on my art. And I'm really, I'm excited about it because it's a different medium, and I'm, the computer gives me so much more freedom to design.
Oh, amazingly so. And then not only that, get excited. Like the wood is awesome.
Yeah.
Acrylic is awesome.
Big,
all of them are.
Kind of lifts up everything, and I can come up with crazy ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you like, you don't even need to do that, and I'll have somebody send you an email.
Okay.
And it won't come from me, so you can ignore mine. I'm gonna write it down. Kim Iton. That way I do not.
And also, I would like to know if you guys think it's sellable, because I've had people purchase my art, but it's been a long time. I haven't messed with it a whole bunch. I don't really have time to join a gallery around here.
It's such a funny question. Is it sellable? At the end of the day, the only people that can answer that is the almighty credit card coming out of the almighty wallet. But what we can do is make sure it gets in front of enough eyeballs for you to answer that question, Yeah. And the thing that like no one understands because they don't teach it is almost all, 99% of successful artists go through these phases where they create, they take it to the market, they see whether or not it sells. If it sells, great, you have a business on your hands. If not, go and create something else. But that whole loop doesn't stop. Pablo Picasso had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory when he died. 45,000 that guy couldn't sell. And it's like, you realize, I use this analogy all the time, but it turns out it's a game of archery. And you're allowed to miss the target a whole bunch of different times. But you have to keep firing arrows to hit the bullseye, right?
It's also a game of numbers, too.
For sure.
Because I know there's a small community that likes my stuff here, but across the whole world or nation, there would be a lot more that liked it.
Exactly right. That's why you have to get the marketing out there. Okay. I'm going to have somebody call you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. All right, Melissa, I'm going to try again. All I can do on my end is ask to unmute you, which I'm doing. So you sort of need to hit it. If not, there could be some other weird bug going on. I'll try one other thing. I'm just going to make you a co-host for a second. That way you can unmute and will. Let's see if that fixes it. So if you can, Melissa, you can unmute and we can go from there. While Melissa's figuring that out, who else? Questions? If you get it, Melissa, I'll just start talking. But questions, anyone else? Yes? No? Maybe so? I got your website, by the way, Jory, so I'll check that out. Yeah, Melissa, you're having issues on your end. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's when you're on your phone. It just goes that way. All right. Well, guys, thanks for sticking it out with me, including my technical difficulties and little myth parts in the middle. I'll send you guys a follow-up email with everything else. Melissa, I'm going to have Brian call you. Kim, I'll have someone call you. I'm pretty sure that's my list. But Jory, you'll want to email me anyway, just so I know where to email you back. That'll be important. So just send me an email. But other than that, thank you guys. Really appreciate all of you. Hope you all have absolutely wonderful days, and hope to see you on an upcoming session.